Welcome, my pretties. Come in, have a seat, as we spill this tea on true crime and other miscellaneous macabre. I'm Autumn.
I'm Haley.
And this is Don't You Know. And today we're going to be talking about Chris Kyle, America's greatest naval sniper. Today we are covering the tragic death of this American hero who survived 4 tours through Iraq, only to be murdered on his home soil.
He was moited. So there's a trigger warning for mentions of moited death in war.
Listen here, see? It's a trigger here.
I'm podcasting here.
Watch out, New York. We're coming for you. And now that is a Midwesterner trying to do it in a New York accent.
You need to sit down.
Sit down, boy.
Chris Kyle was born April 8th, 1974, to Wayne and Deborah Kyle. His father was a hard-working church deacon, and his mother was a Sunday school teacher, raising their children on a ranch in Odessa, Texas. As a child, he loved to hunt deer with his father, citing that even in his youth he was a sure shot. He was a rough-and-tumble lad who loved God, country, and family with all his heart, and he was loyal to them all. He would often find himself in scraps with other boys defending little kids he saw getting bullied, like his brother. As he grew older, Chris would discover a talent for taming horses, going on to join rodeo competitions for busting broncos. If he wasn't playing cowboy, he would have been working on the ranch for his father. In an unfortunate event during a rodeo, Chris was bucked off of a horse and broke his wrist. This led to him retiring after putting a few wins beneath his belt.
Good old cowboys do get put down sometimes.
Yeah. It's a good thing that those pins in the wrist didn't...
Country boy, I love you. Have you seen that video?
No.
Oh, it's an old throwback to the old meme, GIF days, Vine days. If you remember it, you're the real OG. Country boy, I love you.
I probably did see it once upon a time, but just don't remember.
I'll show you after.
He graduated from high school in 1992 and had considered going into the military, specifically the Marines, because he wanted to see action. Chris seemed like a thrill seeker, you know, always ready for the next challenge to prove himself fierce.
Well, he's a cowboy.
He was very much a cowboy. Hardworking, dedicated, grumpy.
Cowboy.
Seemed like he was. So, right on, man. His family wanted him to go to college, and he did eventually see the benefit in this. So he studied to be a ranch manager while also working for a David L. on a ranch. School and work all day, every day, and though he enjoyed this life, he would soon find that he wanted to explore other opportunities. He didn't find studying to be his calling, so he quit school to pursue his original plan and join the military. In 1996, he made his way down to recruiters at a mall and sat down with a Marine recruiter. He was discouraged after finding out how long it would take to become a sergeant that would qualify for special forces, so he left without signing up. That's when a Navy recruiter called him into his office where he would hoodwink, because he convinced Chris to turn down the signing bonus to make himself look good, as cited in his autobiography. Even though he hoodwinked him, he also enticed him into signing up for the Navy SEALs, as Chris was intrigued by the description of the BUDS training and the fortitude it would take to be in the 10% of the graduating class.
He was like, I'm smart, but I want to be seen as smarter.
He had a drive to fight, a real warrior spirit. He was ready for it from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's all he could think about, really, when you read his autobiography. He was just...
That's what I'm being.
I want to fight. I'm a soldier. He was very good at it. But, sad to say, after his physical, he was rejected from the Navy for the pins in his wrist. So, of course, he was disappointed, but he decided to focus on being a ranch hand. His pay was doubled, and he was going to full-time. He knew he was good at it, and since he enjoyed being a cowboy, the transition shouldn't be too hard. He would go back to work for David, but before he could finish packing up and move on, he was called back by the Navy and asked if he was still interested in becoming a SEAL. So off he went to basic training, the first step in his military career. They were like, wait a minute, you know what? We're desperate. We'll take you, pins in the wrist and all.
You can do it.
He could do it in spite of it. Like, that didn't slow him down, obviously.
Yeah. Been through 4 tours.
4 tours. Over
Basic
150
training.
kills.
Yeah.
Like, the training, the way it's described in his book, I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
You get waterboarded. You have to build up a tolerance and learn how to navigate through tear gas.
It's crazy.
Like, you're constantly getting shit on and yelled at and exhausted, no sleep. I'm like,
Yeah, I couldn't do
I'm
it.
a princess. Fuck that.
Clearly
Like, I'm tough, but not.
Yeah, it's clearly, I didn't join the Navy.
No, that's
or
just
any of
hard.
the others.
Go for it. He thrived in the routine and challenges that were the foundation of a soldier's life. In his autobiography, he talks about how they were pushed to their limits in swimming, diving, waterboarding, building a tolerance, and a skill to withstanding tear gas. At one point, he would fracture his wrist but refuse a cast because he didn't want to delay his training. There was also a time when he had nitrogen poisoning from a diving exercise. He would endure all of this with strength and determination and graduate to becoming a SEAL. In April 2001, Chris was patronizing a San Diego bar with some of his friends. It is there that he would meet Taya and instantly become infatuated with her, if not full-blown in love. They would banter back and forth until the wee hours of the morning before they would part ways, only after Taya vomited on his shoes. That just made him want her all the more. They played cat and mouse for a time before they got married and went on to have 2 children, a son and a daughter. Obviously, being in a military family, it's extremely difficult, and Chris does not gloss over this in his book. He often felt torn between the 2 responsibilities of his choices, but gave his best effort to be in 2 places at once. Throughout his military career, he would serve 4 tours through Iraq. He was discharged in 2009, where he would be awarded, according to him, 2 Silver Stars and 6 Bronze Stars. However, the Navy disputes this, and they required that in his book he acknowledge the dispute. Going back and forth, like when he was just discharged, his discharge papers, his DD-214, did cite 2 Silver Stars and 6 Bronze Stars, I believe was like the original one. But then the Navy came back some years later and was like, no, there's a discrepancy. You've only got 1 Silver Star and 3 Bronze Stars. So there's like theories that perhaps he was awarded some of those medals for secret operations that can't be disclosed to the public.
Maybe.
And he put his foot in his mouth saying it publicly, sort of.
Yeah.
Or that one of the 2, either the Navy's lying or he's lying to embellish his medals. I mean, he was pretty impressive regardless.
Yeah.
Like the snipers having to kill,
he was an important dude.
people. Yeah, like it came about. He was a pretty good guy from what it seems like. I mean, I didn't know him, obviously.
Well, when you have even any stars, I feel like you could be seen as a good person.
Yeah, having to go through and do the things, the trials of war. He doesn't pull any punches when he talks about what he had to go through in the military and what it was like in war.
Yeah, he said it pretty loud.
Yeah.
I'm sure he could even say it louder.
Yeah. And then just the having to like compartmentalize the way you have to think about your opponent in ways that justify the killing of them.
Yeah.
In his book, he cited that he would call them savages, and they really like dehumanized each other. Obviously, both sides are dehumanizing the other.
Well,
we're all coffin fodder in a rich man's game.
They do talk in the movie, and I'm not sure in the autobiography, but the movie that they describe his first kill being a
woman. Yes.
Yeah.
In his autobiography, he does cite that she was coming out and did have the, I don't know what it's called, but that
the bomb.
Yeah. Grenade launcher or
something.
Something. Yeah. And that he had to take her down, and she was holding her son.
Yeah.
I don't believe that in the movie
they had a little boy and
they dramatized.
And the boy started that he shot the boy. Then the girl took it, and then he had to shoot the girl.
Yeah. Traumatizing.
For sure.
Regardless.
Yeah.
He did many great things throughout his military career. Like I said, awarded all of those medals. Now that he was retired, in 2009, he had time to pursue his other interests. He would go on to write his autobiography that detailed the grittiness of military life. It is truly a terrific insight into a terrible part of reality. I really had to put it into perspective while reading because, of some of the ways he talks about, like I said, the Iraqi people and how you compartmentalize and live with the horrors of war.
He definitely didn't see anything good.
No.
Like, he didn't have a positive outlook on where he was. So
it's war. It's awful.
Yeah.
But he settled into home life. Ever the warrior spirit, he would volunteer to help veterans. And this is how the mother of Eddie, Ruth, found him. She said, she asked him, hey, will you help out my son? He's having a hard time acclimating. He's a bit troubled. So he agrees. He's like, yeah, me and my friend will take him out to the range with us and, just kind of see what the vibe is.
Yeah.
This was in 2013. Chris and his friend Chad Littlefield would take Eddie out to the gun range for an afternoon of camaraderie and shooting. Eddie says that during that time he was under extreme mental stress and was psychotic when the murders happened, but he still knew better. He had a paranoid disorder that was exacerbated by being drunk and stoned at the time, according to a psychologist that was interviewed during the trial. When Eddie explained why he shot the two men, he stated that they wouldn't talk to him, that he felt like they were going to kill him first, and allegedly quoted in his police interview, I went for him, meaning Kyle, first because he could clearly identify me. If I did not take his soul down, he would take down mine. The ranger that took his interview states that Eddie said he knew it was wrong to kill them and that he wished he hadn't done it, and if he could apologize to the families, he would.
Yeah, that's
a little late.
It is definitely late, but it just shows the trauma that war brings you to.
Trauma, yes. I know he had the PTSD, but it still seems like such a petty answer.
Yeah. No,
they weren't talking
totally.
to me.
Yeah. So I shot them.
In the back while they were out there trying to help with me.
Yeah. Took time out of their day to help you.
It's a fucked up world.
Yeah.
But he knew what he was doing was wrong. So he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. May Chris Kyle and Chad Littlefield rest in peace, and many blessings to their families.
Yeah, you definitely can't dispute that he did great things.
No, absolutely not. You saw pictures of his funeral. That
he had.
That shit was crazy.
Definitely, if you watch the parade down the highway, it's very emotional. It's raw emotion if you can handle it. But it's definitely, you just saw the impact that he had, and it gets me every time. The movie, not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah, that's not my genre. I fell asleep.
She fell asleep. I was just muddled in panic the whole time. It's not that it was a bad movie.
No.
It's just not for me.
It's not my cup of tea.
But it does go in. I looked up a small statistic, and it might not be true because it was just a little research, but it said that the movie was only 52% accurate, which obviously the movie includes a lot of war, and they're not going to put war film in the movie. Like, it's going to be dramatized. It's going to be like it's
it was embellished. It was dramatized.
But the baseline of the story is pretty accurate to what his book was.
Yeah.
It was just dramatized for the drama.
Yep. Out on the roof, serving his country.
And I'm sure just watching it the way we were watching, if it was any tenth of that bad.
Yeah. I mean, even if that is a drama, like if they're exaggerating it, it's still pretty fucking...
It's still fucked up, man. But, fuck.
I've got one note here. So there's an annual rodeo held in honor of Chris in Texas.
I love that.
Yeah. The proceeds are donated to a charity called Base Camp 40 that helps struggling veterans. It was established in 2014. I do recommend reading his autobiography. It's, like I said, a very good insight into someone who's been out there and living two different lives. I mean,
yeah.
Being a soldier, being a husband, a father.
They really only briefly in the movie referenced his transition time between tours.
Yeah.
So, like, he'd come home from a tour, and it was a very quick, I'm
like
home.
12 hours turnaround.
Yeah, I'm home, disassociated, not really present, I'm back. And then the same thing, and then the same thing.
It's very much like that in his book, too. Like, if he wasn't out in the field, he was thinking about being out in the field. When he retired, he felt like he was betraying his unit and all of his mates.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't out there with them.
When he could have been.
Yeah.
Even though...
But his body was also, like, breaking down. He had to have knee surgery. So they had to go in and cut a tendon and shave down kneecaps and, like...
And he was younger than 38 years old.
Yeah, he was, I do believe, 38 when he was murdered.
So that'll happen before 38. And that's a lot of damage on a body.
A lot. He's got the body of a 60-year-old man.
Yeah.
Seen nightmares.
Yeah.
And then coming back to a domestic life, like, I can't imagine. I'm like...
They definitely didn't not dramatize the last bit of what was like, this is it, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch the movie, spoiler alert, this is obviously dramatized, but it's also going to say, like, the big moment in the movie. But, like, it's tear gas. They describe his longest shot, which was 2,500 meters away or something like that. His longest shot. Research on the pod. Research on the pod. We're going to do the research on the pod. What's this guy? Chris Kyle. August. Sean. 1.2 miles.
Damn.
Yes.
Talk about some eagle eyes.
Yeah. So basically in the movie they describe him as they're all set up. They drive there, and then one of them gets shot, and now they all got a setup, right? They're going to war. About to get to active shooting time. And then they get all set up in the house, and he sees the motherfucker that's been shooting all his patroons. Or his patroon? Platoon.
Platoon?
That keeps shooting all the motherfuckers in his platoon. So this guy, right? He sees it. And his little buddy who's telling him, like, it's your call, right? I don't know exactly what that guy's called, but that guy. Sorry, I'm just describing the movie, okay? The movie's only 52% accurate, okay?
And you're only 12% accurate.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Okay, so the guy who's saying, yep, you can go, is like, don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it, man. Don't fucking take the shot. You're going to give us away. Don't fucking do it. It's too far away. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And he gets a clear shot, and he fucking takes it from 1.2 miles away. And basically, it's a big dramatization of, you know, they get found out, and now it's a shooting battle. People are dying. Tear gas is flying. Helicopter flies over. They bomb. Now there's smoke everywhere. And it's very traumatizing to try to get out of that situation. He almost gets left behind. And that's when he calls his wife and says, honey, I'm coming home. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm coming home. I'm done. I'm ready to come home. So it's like, in the movie, if that was truly what happened or what that moment looked like for him, because obviously he couldn't just say, I'm going home and go home. He had to finish out that tour.
Yeah.
So, but that moment when you're like, this is going to be my last tour, I'm not doing it again.
Anymore. I mean, he's like, you get really close with them. Like,
yeah, but I can't imagine that being that moment. Like, even half as scary as what that scene looked like.
Right.
To be that moment for him. I'm sure it's just crazy different. So. And that's the world's 8th longest confirmed kill shot by a single sniper.
Top 10, baby.
Top 10. I wonder who is the first.
The longest shot ever recorded was made by an unnamed JTF-2 sniper during the Iraqi Civil War in 2017. The shot took down an Islamic State insurgent in 2004, but few other details have been disclosed. It was 2,310 meters.
Damn. How much is that in...
You want me to math?
Just look up what 208 meters is.
1.4
Oh, so we're talking between 1.2 miles and 1.4 miles.
Maybe that was an extra windy day.
Well, no, I'm saying like the top 10 are getting close.
Yeah.
It's not like one's at 1.2 miles and the other one's at 5.8. They're within a couple meters. That's crazy. That is, and I can't even see what's in front of me.
Like my computer.
Fuck, I got astigmatism. I can shoot what's 2 feet in front of me. I could shoot that, maybe.
That's generous.
It is. Give me a car. I can run shit over. What was that? Can't see. Speed bump. Sorry.
Was that a deer?
Douche. What was that? I don't know. No looking back. Douche. What was that? I don't know. I can't see.
The bitch behind me, she was baked.
I was high. Oh my gosh. Shout out to
them people.
Them people, you know who you is. I'm saying he was high. High on this tear gas. What was that? I don't know.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
She's crying now. Shit. That's a reason in Iowa.
Shit. I don't think. Can you imagine? Okay, like obviously, hearts go out to the family, but can you imagine if we were in war? Together.
Me and you.
Just as they gave us a car, we had the uniforms, and we're just riding around like, what are you doing today? I'm gonna kill some bitches later. Oh, girl, me too. Shots get fired at us. Douche, douche, douche. Oh my god, why are you so moody?
Fuck, they're always so passive aggressive.
You want to go get a tattoo? Like, do we just coffee? Do we need to go to Target?
Is there a Target in there?
Maybe we should go to Walmart. We're better equipped. That's really mean.
Oh.
Your insurance is going to pay for that, bitch.
Yeah, because we all got to pay for that.
No, it's the American tax dollar. Political.
Don't need to see action. We are not battle worthy.
If they put me in battle, that's a mistake on them. Also, I'm like the beluga whale. You're going to see me in the camo.
Yeah, that's just, we have other...
This episode is going to come out pretty close to...
Feast Day.
Yes, Thanksgiving, but also Veterans Day was just recently passed. So shout out to all the veterans out there. Absolutely. We have many in our family. Our parents are veterans, so shout out to the Navy because they both met in the Navy and were in the Navy, and they totally were on submarines and stuff.
They weren't on submarines.
No, they weren't. They were on naval boats. They were above ground. They weren't underground.
They weren't even in the ground, dude. They were on the water.
Dude, you're killing my vibe, bro. I was trying to thank the Navy people. Okay, you were right. They weren't under the water. They were on top of the water, but floating kind of in between. Okay, they were kind of under the water. They were on a vessel that was floating between the waters.
Yes, and they worked the engines, so they were down below sea level. So you're not incorrect, but you're also not accurate.
I'm trying to be a boat sound.
That did not sound like a boat. It's like Dory. You speak with.
Hey.
Hello.
Maybe I'll put a sound in of what I'm thinking of. It's like the SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I'll find a sound. I'll try to put it in. If you don't hear it, this part's gonna be cut out anyway.
Do you want to?
No, I'm saying if I can't find it, I'm going to cut this part out because it'll be irrelevant.
Okay. You don't want to make weird noises at people. Here's the end of the pod. Please enjoy our stupidity.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, draw it out a little bit. Just be
That's what we're doing.
Funny. It was nice to get away from the serial killers.
Yeah, I mean...
Not that his death wasn't tragic.
Yeah, his death was tragic for
deaths.
sure. Yeah, both of them. There was 2 people that died. I, again, strongly recommend going to watch that funeral parade. It was
lively.
You felt it. If you want to feel something, go feel something. Dude, he was also pretty handsome, man. He was a handsome little man. Well, not little. He was not little. He was a tall man.
Yeah.
Like 6'5" or something like that.
6'3".
Tall man. But he's a handsome man. Not a tall, handsome man. And handsome women. Inclusive-ish. As always, thank you for tuning in to our podcast of the Miscellaneous Macabre. And don't you know, I'm Autumn.
I'm Haley.
And don't forget to lock your doors.
Bye.
Rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling.